Students, good morning all of you. Today we are looking at the second unit A reading, that is titled The Dear Departed. It's a play titled The Dear Departed, written by William Stanley Houghton, and it is one act play. One act play is a play with one act, and it has scenes, and it has say one scene or more scenes, and the play has some acts. Those acts make a play. Each act has some scenes. The dear departed. What is the meaning of departed? Departed means died. The dear, somebody who dear to the family members or to someone died. The dear departed. The title is very interesting, but here William Stanley satirizes degradation of moral values in the British middle class family. He satirizes degradation of moral values in the British middle class family. He satirizes the degradation of moral values, and degradation of moral values are going down in the society in the British middle class family. Moral values are going down in the society in the British middle class family. So, the story reveals how elderly people are mistreated. The story is a satirical play that explores family relationship and the falsehood and greed that often lie beneath it. The story exposes the sad fact that human beings often dehumanized in the face of greed and greed and minor material things. Here he has created satire. The relationship he had shown relationship of children with elder people. In this play he had shown relationship of children with elder people, and how the children stole the three things of her father's bureau, new slippers and clock before her sister arrival. The story begins with Mrs. Henry Slaughter and the daughter of Abel Merriweather, and she had a daughter. Her name was Victoria Slaughter. Her husband's name is Henry Slaughter. The play begins with Amelia Slaughter. When the curtain rises, Mrs. Slaughter is seen laying the table. She is a vigorous, plump, red-faced, vulgar woman, prepared to do any amount of straight talking to get her own way. She is in black. She goes to the window, opens it, and calls into the street. When the curtain rises, Mrs. Slaughter is seen laying the table. She is arranging something on the table. She is a vigorous. Vigorous means very strong, energetic. She is a very strong and plump, slightly fat, red-faced, vulgar, rude woman, prepared to do any amount of straight talking to get her own way. To get her own way, she can argue. To get her own way, to get her own favorite, she can argue. She is in black. She wore black dress. She goes to the window, opens it, and calls into the street. She calls her daughter Victoria. Mrs. Slaughter sharply, Victoria, do you hear? Come in, will you? Victoria, do you hear? Do means here, do you hear? Victoria, come in, will you? Are you hearing? Are you listening to me? Will you come in? She said sharply. Victoria, a precocious girl, very intelligent, a girl of 10, dressed in colors. Come in. Victoria has come in because Amelia Slaughter, her mother, called her. So, Mrs. Slaughter, I am amazed at you. Amazed means very surprised. Amazed at you, Victoria. I really am. Be off now and change your dress before your Aunt Elizabeth and your Uncle Ben come. Be off now, Victoria. Be off, change your dress before. Be off means go away, Victoria. change your dress before your aunt and Elizabeth and Aunt Elizabeth and your uncle Ben come. They are coming. Victoria, your uncle Ben and your aunt Elizabeth, they are coming. Before they are coming, you have to change your dress. She suggested her daughter. It would never do for them to find you in colors with grandfather lying dead upstairs. Your grandfather lying dead upstairs. So before they are arriving, you have to change your dress. Now you are in colors. You change your dress. You should be in black. So it's a morning day. So you have to change your dress before they are coming. Go away, be off now. Victoria, Mrs. Emilia Slater said to her daughter Victoria. Victoria, what are they coming for? They haven't been here for ages, for a long time. For ages means for a long time, for long. They haven't been here, they haven't come here, they haven't been here for a long time, they haven't come here. Why are they coming now? She questioned her mother, Mrs. Slaughter. They are coming to talk over poor grandpa's affairs. They are coming here to talk about grandpa's property. She said to her daughter. Who said to her daughter? Emilia Slater said to her daughter about the arrival of her sister Elizabeth and her husband Ben Jordan. What does she say? They are coming to talk over their father's property. Your father sent them a telegram as soon as we found he was dead. So Mrs. Slater said to Victoria, her father has sent a telegram. Her father, Victoria's father, had sent a telegram to Elizabeth, and they are coming now to share the father's property because father was dead, lying dead upstairs. So Emilia Slater is explaining to her daughter Victoria. Henry Slater, a stooping, heavy man with a drooping moustache, enters. He is wearing a black tailcoat, grey trousers, a black tie, and a bowler hat. Henry Slater, a stooping. Stooping means bent towards and down, bending down. Henry Slater, bending down. And heavy man with a drooping moustache. Drooping means hanging down. Moustache enters. He enters. Henry Slater enters. He is wearing a black coat and grey trousers, black tie, and bowler hat. Henry is speaking now. I am wondering if they all come at all. Really, I am surprised if they all come. If they are coming, I am really surprised at it, he said. When you and Elizabeth quarreled, she said she would never set foot in your house again. Once upon a time, both sisters quarreled. So you both quarreled. So on that day, she never comes. She also said, Elizabeth also said to her sister, I never come to your house again, she said. So he remembered the words. Mr. Henry. Henry was really surprised of their coming because they quarreled. The two sisters are quarreled before, and Elizabeth said to her sister she wouldn't come to her home again. Mrs. Slater, she will come fast enough after her share of what our fathers left. Mrs. Slater said, she will come fast enough. She will come very fast to share her things of father's property, what fathers left, what fathers leaves. She will come very fast enough. No, I know about her character, about her nature. I know she will come very fast and to share her father's property. You know how hard she can be when she likes. Where she gets it from, I can't tell. You know how hard and she is bargaining what she likes and what she likes. You know how hard she can be when she likes. When she wanted something to get it, how hard she will become. You know where should she get, from where she gets it from. I don't know from where should she get it. She doesn't know. Emilia Slater said to Henry. Actually, she is very hard. She becomes very hard. When she becomes very hard, when she wanted what thing she wanted to take and to take that thing, she becomes very hard. And such kind of energy, where she gets, I too don't know. And who is speaking these words? Mrs. Slater is speaking to her husband. Henry is replying, I suppose it's in the family. I suppose from your family. Where does she get it? That such kind of energy should become such kind of hard. When Emilia says, when Emilia is speaking with her husband, he says immediately, it is from your family. Maybe from the family. A little pause he takes. Where are my slippers? He asked. Where are my slippers? Mrs. Slater. In the kitchen. But you want a new pair. In the kitchen. But you want a new pair. These old ones are nearly worn out. You want a new pair. Because old ones are worn out. They are damaged. They are too old and they are damaged. Nearly breaking down. They are breaking down. You don't seem to realize what it's costing me to bear up like I am doing. My heart's fit to break when I see the little trifles that belong to father lying around and think he will never use them again. Briskly, here, you would better wear these slippers of my father's now. It's lucky. He would just got a new pair. So in the kitchen, Mrs. Slater, where are my slippers? Henry, who asked this? Henry asked Mrs. Slater. Mrs. Slater said in the kitchen, but they are worn out. But there is a new pair. Her father bought just the before day. There was a new pair, and where the new pair, because I don't want to buy a new one, but it's cost very high. So you have to wear the new pair of slippers which were bought by her father. So you are very lucky because he would just got a new pair. Who able marry mother? Able marry whether? Henry, they will be very small for me, my dear. Henry told, they are very small, that are not fit to my feet, he said, my dear Slater. Mrs. Slater, they will stretch, won't they? They will expand, won't they? I am not going to have them wasted. So I don't want to waste them. So she has finished laying the table. Henry, I have been thinking about the bureau of my father's that's in his bedroom. You know, I always wanted to have it after he died. You know, I always wanted to have it after he died. Henry, immediately we have to shift the bureau from my father's room to the down before their arrival. Before their arrival, whose arrival? Ben Jordan and Elizabeth Jordan. We have to change that bureau from father's room to down. Otherwise, she wanted that bureau because actually I like the bureau very much and I wanted to take it, so I want to shift immediately from my father's room to down to our room. Henry, you must arrange with Elizabeth when you are dividing things up. No, so Henry didn't want to change the bureau from her father's bedroom. He is very surprised and he said, you must arrange with Elizabeth. When dividing things, you must arrange with the Elizabeth. You ask her, you want to take that bureau, you liked it very much, you said to Elizabeth, and dividing the things between equally, he said. Who said? Henry said to Amelia Slater. Mrs. Slater, Elizabeth, that sharp, she will see I am after it, and we will drive a hard bargain over it. No, Elizabeth was very sharp. When she comes, she doesn't accept. Before her arrival, we have to change the bureau from my father's room to down. If she sees, she won't accept. So we have to drive a hard bargain. We have to ask, drive a hard bargain. We have to drive a hard bargain. That means work hard to negotiate agreements in one's own favor. We have to do work hard to negotiate agreements in one's own favor. Drive a hard bargain means work hard to negotiate agreements in one's own favor. So we have to do a hard bargain over it. Henry, perhaps she has got her eye on the bureau as well. Perhaps she has remembered the bureau before when she has come to home. She has remembered, and now where is it? She may ask. What is your answer, Henry? Asked the Mrs. Slater. Asked Mrs. Slater. Mrs. Slater said she has never been here since father bought it. Okay, since father bought it, she hadn't been come here. So no problem, we have to shift the bureau from my father's room to down. If it was only down here instead of in his room, she would never guess it wasn't our room. So before her coming, we have shifted means she has, maybe she hasn't guessed. She never guessed. It wasn't our own. She hasn't guessed. Before her arrival only, we have to shift the my father's bureau from his room to down. After her coming also, if it is down, she never guesses. It wasn't our own. So before their arrival, we have to shift. Henry, Amelia started in surprise. Mrs. Slaughter, Henry, why shouldn't we bring that bureau down here now? Why shouldn't we bring that bureau down here now? We can't do it before they come. No, Henry said to Mrs. Slaughter, I can't help to bring down the bureau from upstairs to down. After their coming, we divide the things between them and us, he said. Henry, unable to think properly, stupefied. Stupefied means unable to think properly. Henry, stupefied, I wouldn't care to. No, I don't take the bureau. Won't help you to take the bureau down. Mrs. Slater, don't look so daft. Why not? Why don't you do? You don't look so daft. So daft means here silly. Don't talk too much, silly. Why not? Why don't you help me to change the bureau from father's room to down? Henry, it doesn't seem delicate somehow. So Henry says, Mrs. Slater, it doesn't seem delicate. It doesn't seem good. So I don't want to help in this matter, he said. Mrs. Slater, we could put that shabby old chest of drawers upstairs where the bureau is now. Elizabeth could have that and welcome. I have always wanted to get rid of it. So we could put that shabby old chest of drawers. Already old one was there. So we put it in place of new one. So new one we have shifted to down before their arrival. Elizabeth could have that and welcome. Okay, Elizabeth, after seeing that old chest of drawers, she may take that one. So before her arrival, we have to shift that new bureau from upstairs to down, from father's room to down, she asked. I have always wanted to get rid of it. The old one always I wanted to get rid of it, to leave it. Always I wanted to leave the old shabby bureau, and I have to change this new one in place of old one. She points to the drawers. Henry, suppose they come when we were doing it. Henry expressed a doubt. What doubt? While we were changing, if they came means, Mrs. Slater, I'll fasten the front door. Get your coat off, Henry. We'll change it. Okay. I'll close the door, front door. Get your coat off. You remove your coat. We will change the bureau from father's room to down. Mrs. Slater goes out to fasten the front door. Henry takes his coat off. Mrs. Slater reappears. So Mrs. Slater, I'll run up and move the chairs out of the way. Mrs. Slater says these words, run up and move the chairs out of the way. Victoria appears, dressed according to her mother's instructions. In the beginning of the story, Mrs. Slater asked Victoria to change her dress before their aunt and uncle's arrival. So Victoria appears again, dressed according to her mother's instruction. Victoria, what have you got your coat off for father? Victoria asked her father, "Why have you removed your coat, father?" She asked. Henry, "Mother and I are going to bring grandfather's bureau down here." So Henry is telling to his daughter, "Mother and I are going to bring down grandfather's bureau down here." Victoria, "Are you planning to pinch it? Are you planning to pinch it? Are you planning to steal it?" Pinch means here steal. Pinch means steal. "Are you planning to pinch it?" Henry shocked. Henry was really shocked at his child's question. "No, my child. Grandpa gave it to your mother before he died." Grandpa gave it to your mother before he died. Your grandpa gave it to your mother. We are not stealing. Grandpa gave it to your mother. That's why we are shifting the bureau from upstairs to down. We are not stealing. He said to his daughter. Victoria, "When? This morning?" Henry, "Yes." Victoria, he was drunk this morning." Mrs. Latter appears carrying a handsome clock under her arm. Handsome clock, that is bureau. You can see in the picture bureau and handsome clock. This bureau they want to shift from grandfather's room to down. Slatter's father's room to down. And this is a handsome clock. These two things they have shifted before Ben Jordan and Elizabeth Jordan's arrival. They have shifted these two things. And Slater appears carrying a handsome clock under her arm. Mrs. Slater, "I thought I would fetch this down as well." She puts it on the mantelpiece. Mantelpiece means a self-projecting from the wall. A self-projecting from the wall. "Our clock's worth nothing and this always appealed to me." Our clock's worth nothing and this always appealed to me. Students, up to this point you have to read it in next class we continue the lesson. Read textbook and meanings given at the end of the lesson. In the next class we meet again. Thank you.